Listen carefully, because what I'm about to say is not just a message. It's a wake-up call, a jolt straight to your mind and spirit that will refuse to let you remain the same. Right now, at this very second, you are standing at the edge of two realities, one where you stay trapped in doubt, fear, and mediocrity, and another where you take control, rise above every limitation, and demand more from yourself than you've ever dared to before. I need you to feel this, not just hear it, because words without feeling change nothing. You see, life does not wait, it does not slow down, and it certainly does not care if you are ready. Every second that ticks by is a test of your focus, your resilience, and your willingness to push beyond what you think is possible. The question is, will you rise to that test or allow it to pass by, leaving you stuck, watching others claim what could have been yours? Right now, in this very moment, the thoughts racing through your head are either going to lift you or limit you. That inner voice telling you I can't, or maybe tomorrow, is a liar, a thief stealing the only currency you have that matters, your time, your energy, your action. You must understand that nothing in life worth having comes without a fight, without pain, without the kind of discipline that makes others uncomfortable. The struggle is real, the pressure is real, and the resistance you feel is designed to push you out of your comfort zone, to test your limits, to see if you are truly willing to do what it takes to become unstoppable. Every single one of us faces obstacles, setbacks, and moments where the world feels heavy on our shoulders. But it is in these moments that the mind is forged, that the heart is strengthened, and that character is revealed. I need you to lock in, focus, and commit every ounce of your attention, because what I am about to lay out is not for the faint of heart. This is for the ones willing to confront themselves honestly, to see their weaknesses, their fears, their excuses, and choose to rise above them with relentless determination. This is for the ones who refuse to let life define them, who refuse to let their circumstances dictate their future, who are ready to push harder, think sharper, and act bolder than ever before. You are about to understand that greatness is not given, it is taken. It is built daily with intention, with discipline, with unshakable belief in yourself, even when no one else believes. So stay with me, stay focused, and let this be the moment your mind shifts, your energy ignites, and your perspective changes. By the time this message reaches its end, you will feel it deep in your bones. You will know that every limitation, every doubt, every fear that has held you back is about to be shattered. You are about to step into a version of yourself that is stronger, sharper, and more relentless than ever before. The time is now, the choice is yours, and the power to change everything starts with what you decide to do next. Lock in, because nothing will ever be the same again. Weak times have a way of stripping away every excuse, every mask, every illusion you have been hiding behind, and that is why they are the most powerful seasons of your life, if you're willing to face the truth they reveal. When life is easy, when the money is flowing, when the people around you are clapping for you, you don't really know who you are. You don't know your limits. You don't know your weaknesses, and you certainly don't know your strength. But when life hits you, when the pressure rises, when the world feels heavy and everything seems to be going wrong, that is the moment when the real you steps out from the shadows. Weak times are not sent to break you. They are sent to expose you, to show you exactly what needs to be rebuilt, refined, and reshaped in your life. They are the raw, unfiltered truth about your character, your habits, your discipline, and your mindset. Think about it. Anyone can act confident when life is comfortable. Anyone can talk big when there's no challenge standing in front of them. Anyone can pretend they're strong when they've never been tested. But weak times remove the comfort. And the second the comfort disappears, the real version of you comes out. If you quit easily, that was inside you the whole time. If you panic, that was already in your mind. If you fold under pressure, the pressure didn't create that weakness. It exposed it. The truth is always in the struggle, not the success. Weak moments are the x-ray of your mindset. They show you the broken bones you've been ignoring. They show you where you've been settling, where you've been slacking, and where you've been lying to yourself. Weak times are teachers disguised as storms. They give you information about yourself that comfort could never reveal. When you can't sleep because you're stressed, when the bills pile up, when the opportunities disappear, when the people you trusted start turning their backs on you. Those are the moments that tell you who you really are. Do you complain or do you adapt? Do you break down or do you break through? Do you wait for someone to save you or do you find a way to save yourself? Weak times don't create weak people. They expose the weak areas inside a person. And that's the blessing most people never realize. Because once something is exposed, you can fix it. Once something is revealed, you can confront it. Once something is seen clearly, you can rebuild it stronger than before. You can't develop a strong mindset in a life of ease. Strength comes from struggle. Pressure creates diamonds. Resistance builds muscle, and storms build warriors. If you want to know the truth about your potential, look at how you act when everything is falling apart. Weak times show you whether your motivation was real or just emotional. They show you whether your goals were desires or decisions. They show you whether you were committed or just interested. And once you see that truth, you finally get to choose. Stay the same or upgrade your entire identity. Most people run from weak times. They hide, they numb themselves, they distract themselves, they blame circumstances, they blame people, they blame fate. But the people who build strong mindsets use those weak times as laboratories. They study their reactions. Why did I panic? Why did I avoid the hard work? Why did I let fear control me? Why did I give up so fast? They don't judge themselves. They analyze themselves. Because understanding your weakness is the beginning of building your strength. You can't fix what you refuse to acknowledge. Weak times are also clarifying. They wipe out the noise. They make you see exactly who is for you and who is not. They show you which habits were fake and which ones were built on real discipline. They make you realize what you've been wasting your time on. They expose the relationships that drain you, the patterns that sabotage you, the beliefs that hold you back. Nothing exposes your truth like pressure. When life squeezes you, whatever is inside comes out. And if what comes out is fear, insecurity, laziness, or chaos, it was always there. You just couldn't see it when life was easy. Weak times clean your vision. And here's the thing most people miss. Weak times don't mean you are weak. They mean the environment around you is challenging enough to reveal your weaknesses. That's different. The moment you understand this, you stop taking struggle personally. You stop seeing hardship as punishment. You start to see it as a diagnostic tool, a necessary breaking point that leads to rebuilding. Weak times are construction zones for your mind. They tear down the mental structures that weren't built to last. They force you to face the truth about what you need to strengthen. If you want to build a strong mindset, you have to stop running from weak times. You have to embrace them with brutal honesty. Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? You start asking, what is this showing me about myself? That question changes your life. It shifts your mindset from victim to warrior. It pulls you out of self-pity and pushes you into self-mastery. Weak times teach you humility, resilience, focus, and patience. They show you what you're capable of under pressure. They teach you that strength isn't loud. It's built quietly when no one is cheering for you. When you understand the truth that weak times reveal the real you, you stop fearing them. You start appreciating them. You start using them. Because now you know that every struggle is a mirror, and every mirror is an opportunity to transform. Weak times don't define you. They refine you. They don't shrink you. They sharpen you. They don't weaken you. They awaken you. And the moment you accept that truth, you stop seeing life's hardest moments as setbacks and start seeing them as setups for the version of you that was waiting to be born. Strength is not something you discover in quiet, peaceful seasons of your life. It is something you build in the middle of chaos, pressure, and uncertainty. Weak times are training grounds disguised as hardships. They come into your life looking like setbacks, like punishment, like the universe trying to break you down. But in reality, they are shaping you into someone you could never become on your own. You don't become mentally strong by reading quotes or watching motivational videos. You become strong by surviving the moments that felt impossible, by pushing forward when every part of you wanted to quit, and by refusing to let your circumstances dictate your identity. Weak times are the gym of your mind, and every challenge is a weight you're meant to lift. The problem is, most people misunderstand these hard seasons. They think the struggle means they're failing. They think the fear and doubt mean they're not capable. They think the pressure means they're not ready. But the truth is the opposite. Weak times show up to prepare you, not punish you. Every difficulty is building a layer of mental strength, emotional resilience, and inner stability that you will need for the next level of your life. You can't carry the weight of your future with the mindset you have today. So life applies pressure, real pressure, to force your growth. You don't grow because you want to. You grow because life demands that you evolve. But here's the hard truth. You cannot build a strong mindset if you're constantly begging for easy days. You cannot become unshakable if you keep praying for comfort. A strong mind is built through storms, not sunshine. Comfort feels good, but it teaches nothing. Pain feels terrible, but it teaches everything. Weak times introduce you to the parts of yourself you've never faced, the beliefs you've carried for years, the fears that have gone unchallenged, and the limits you never questioned. You don't fix these things when life is smooth. You fix them when everything falls apart and you're forced to look at the truth. To build a strong mindset, you have to let weakness surface. You have to admit you're overwhelmed, insecure, undisciplined, scared, or inconsistent, not so you can stay that way, but so you can confront it. Ignoring your weaknesses doesn't protect you, it blinds you. Strong people are not the ones who pretend to have everything under control. Strong people are the ones who use their difficult seasons as mirrors. They study themselves. They analyze their reactions. They ask, why did I fold here? What fear is stopping me? What habit is destroying me? What emotion is controlling me? Weak people hide their flaws. Strong people hunt them down. Weak times also force you to build discipline. When life is soft, you can be lazy, unmotivated, inconsistent, and nothing really happens. But when life gets hard, you don't have time to waste. Weak times demand structure. They demand focus. They demand effort. You don't have the luxury to procrastinate or complain. You're forced to grow up mentally. You're forced to step into responsibility. You're forced to create habits that actually keep you alive emotionally, financially, spiritually, and mentally. You stop doing things based on how you feel and start doing them based on who you must become. And as you push through these hard moments, something powerful happens. Your mind begins to toughen. You start realizing you can handle more than you thought. The situations that once terrified you begin to feel normal. The stress that used to break you becomes fuel. The pressure that used to make you crumble becomes your sharpening tool. Strong people aren't born strong. They are forged through repeated exposure to adversity. Every time you survive a weak moment, you add another layer of inner armor. Every time you face a fear, instead of running from it, that fear loses its power. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, your identity shifts. You stop seeing yourself as fragile and start seeing yourself as capable. Weak times also teach you emotional control. They force you to manage your reactions instead of letting your emotions dictate your actions. When life hits you hard, you don't get to panic. You learn to pause. You don't get to break down. You learn to breathe through the pressure. You don't get to lash out or collapse. You learn to think, to respond with clarity instead of chaos. Strong mindset isn't about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally intelligent. It's about having the self-awareness to understand what you're feeling, why you were feeling it, and how to navigate through it without sabotaging yourself. Weak times demand that you stay calm when everything around you is falling apart. They teach you patience, endurance, and the ability to stay centered in storms. Most importantly, weak times build self-trust. You cannot have a strong mind if you don't trust yourself. And trust is not built through words, it's built through survival. When you make it through things you thought would break you, you begin to believe in your own ability. When you face challenges and keep going, you build confidence. When you do hard things repeatedly, you stop doubting yourself. Weak times are the proof you need that you're stronger than you ever imagined. They prove your resilience. They prove your adaptability. They prove your capability. A strong mind is not built in silence. It's built through loud, messy, painful moments where you are forced to choose growth over comfort. Weak times are not meant to stop you. They are meant to sculpt you. They are the chisels that carve away your old patterns, old fears, old beliefs, and old identity. They break off everything that holds you back so the real, powerful, resilient version of you can emerge. Weak times don't destroy you. They introduce you to the strongest version of yourself. They force you to dig deeper, fight harder, think smarter, and rise higher. And if you embrace them instead of running from them, you won't just build a strong mindset, you'll build an unbreakable one. Hard times expose you, but they also reveal something even more powerful, the lessons life has been trying to teach you for years, the truths you've been avoiding, and the wisdom you can only earn through experience. When everything around you feels shaky, when nothing is going according to plan, when you feel lost, pressured, or overwhelmed, those moments become the classroom where the strongest parts of your character are built. A weak season forces you to pay attention. It forces you to slow down, to listen, to observe, to reflect. And in those moments of reflection, if you're honest with yourself, you begin to see what life has been trying to show you all along. Every struggle has a message inside it, but most people never hear it because they're too busy complaining, panicking, or trying to escape the discomfort. When something painful happens, they immediately ask, why me? Instead of asking, what is this trying to teach me? That single shift in thinking is the foundation of wisdom, because every hardship carries a lesson. Sometimes the lesson is patience, sometimes discipline, sometimes boundaries, sometimes humility, sometimes self-awareness, and other times the lesson is simply that you're capable of more than you imagine. But you only receive that lesson if you choose to look for it instead of running from the pain. Life has a way of repeating lessons you refuse to learn. If you don't learn how to respect your time, you'll keep attracting situations that waste it. If you don't learn how to love yourself, you'll keep choosing people who don't. If you don't learn discipline, you'll keep facing consequences that force it. If you don't learn emotional control, you'll keep ending up in situations that trigger you. Struggles are not random, they are patterns. And those patterns are trying to mature your mind. When you start looking at life through the lens of growth instead of victimhood, every challenge becomes a teacher instead of a threat. Weak times specifically teach you what your strengths and weaknesses truly are. You may believe you're strong until life tests the exact area where you're fragile. You may think you're disciplined until you're forced to stay consistent while everything around you is falling apart. You may think you're patient until you're put into a situation where you can't rush the outcome. Hardships peel back your ego and show you who you actually are, not the version you show the world, not the version you pretend to be, but the version you confront in silence. That honesty is painful, but it's also transformative, because once you see your weaknesses clearly, you can start strengthening them instead of ignoring them. These weak seasons also teach you who belongs in your life and who doesn't. When everything is good, everyone stays. When everything is falling apart, only the real ones remain. Hard times reveal people's intentions, their loyalty, their character. They reveal who supports growth and who benefits from your stagnation. They show you who cares about you and who cares about what you can provide. Weak seasons are like filters. They remove the people who don't deserve a seat in your future. And while that can feel heartbreaking, it's one of the greatest gifts life gives you, because the path to a strong mindset requires surrounding yourself with people who sharpen you, not people who drain you. Another powerful lesson weak times teach you is how to be resourceful. When you don't have much, you learn how to make the most of what you have. When you don't feel strong, you learn how to rely on your determination. When you feel lost, you learn how to guide yourself. When everything is stripped away, you learn how powerful your mind can be. Weak seasons force you to innovate, to adapt, to think differently, to approach problems with creativity instead of frustration. You discover strengths you never knew you possessed, talents you ignored, and abilities you underestimated. You learn that your real power is not in what you have, it's in who you are. Weak seasons also teach you gratitude, something most people take for granted. When you've been broken, you appreciate peace more. When you've been in darkness, you appreciate light more. When you've gone without, you appreciate abundance more. When you felt lonely, you appreciate loyalty more. Gratitude isn't learned in ease, it's learned in struggle. You begin to value things you used to overlook. Your health, your time, your peace, your progress, your growth. This gratitude shifts your mindset from entitlement to appreciation, and that shift changes the entire way you approach life. Most importantly, weak times teach you that you can survive. You learn that even when your heart is heavy, you can keep moving. Even when your mind is exhausted, you can keep pushing. Even when your future looks uncertain, you can keep fighting. Hardship teaches you endurance, not the kind you learn in books, but the kind you feel in your bones. You learn that strength is not the absence of struggle. Strength is the ability to move through it. You learn that you don't break as easily as you once thought. You learn that pain doesn't define you, it grows you. Weak times are not just moments to endure. They are moments to study. They are moments to reflect, to grow, to understand. They show you what needs to change in your life, what needs to leave, what needs to stay, and what needs to evolve. They reveal the truth about your habits, your circle, your mindset, and your beliefs. And when you pay attention, when you lean into the lesson instead of avoiding it, you come out of that season wiser, stronger, more grounded, and more prepared for the greatness ahead of you. Weak times are classrooms. The tuition is pain, but the reward is wisdom. And that wisdom becomes the foundation of a mind so strong that nothing in this world can break it again. As we reach the end of this journey, take a moment to realize that everything we've discussed is not just theory or empty motivation. It is a call to action, a challenge to the very core of who you are and who you have the potential to become. Life does not wait for anyone, and opportunities do not linger for those who hesitate. Every second that passes is a chance to rise, to push harder, to think clearer, and to act bolder. You cannot afford to let doubt, fear, or hesitation steal what is rightfully yours. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain average is not luck. It is the relentless pursuit of growth, the unwillingness to settle, and the discipline to take control of every thought, every habit, and every moment of your life. You must recognize that the world will try to distract you, to drain your energy, to make you believe that comfort is enough. But comfort will never create greatness. Comfort will never push you to unlock the hidden reserves of power within you. The mental toughness, the focus, and the resilience that lie dormant until you decide to awaken them. Understand that transformation is not a gentle process. It is violent. It demands more from you than you ever thought possible. It demands that you confront the parts of yourself that are weak, complacent, and hesitant. It demands that you strip away the excuses, the distractions, and the limitations that you have clung to for too long. Every time you choose to rise instead of give up, every time you choose discipline over ease, every time you act with intention instead of passivity, you are reinforcing the architecture of a life built to dominate, to achieve, and to leave a mark that will not fade. You must internalize the fact that greatness does not ask permission. It does not wait for the perfect moment. It does not care about your comfort or your fears. Greatness responds only to action, to persistence, and to those willing to outwork everyone else in every arena of life. And now, as you stand on the edge of your next step, realize that the power to change everything resides within you. The people around you, the circumstances you face, the setbacks that have slowed you down, all of it is irrelevant if you choose to harness your own potential. Every challenge is a test of your focus, your endurance, and your will. Every obstacle is a lesson disguised as hardship, designed to separate the weak from the unstoppable. You have the ability to transform pain into strength, failure into learning, and doubt into clarity. You have the ability to dictate your own story, to set the tone for your future, and to claim the level of success, influence, and fulfillment that you desire. So as this message reaches its conclusion, let it not be the end of your energy, but the spark for action. Let it not be words you remember, but fire that fuels your days and nights. Commit to it. Fight for it and refuse to accept mediocrity. Do not wait for another moment, another sign, or another permission. The time to act is now. The responsibility is yours, and the reward is life-changing. Become relentless. Become disciplined. Become unstoppable. The choice is yours. The battle is yours, and the victory is within reach. It all begins and ends with you. You are the only person standing between the life you have and the life you deserve. Stop holding back. Stop doubting yourself. And rise with everything you have, because the world will not wait. And neither should you.